There's the man. And you are true to your word. You said you would have a suit, coat, and tie on tonight, so.
I brought it just in case.
Oh, awesome, thanks.
Typically, you can sit wherever you want.
Well, I just need to.
Well, that was kind of you, that shout out you did in that Zoom call we did. I was a little,
Yeah, if you get more chairs, you can pull them off and group together.
you know, it was kind of like, I could just see the others going, well, my daughter's pretty cool too, you know?
She called me, and I talked to her for probably 15
I feel like
minutes.
I'm never very happy with the county.
She hesitated once on a mayor, and I said, well, we've got the best mayors in the state. And she said, well, oh yeah, ours is good. I mean, it wasn't where she wanted to go, I know.
Yeah.
Howdy, howdy.
Hello, how are you, Dan?
We are turning red, but you know, and then you're not live on YouTube right now, so. Turn it off until we're ready to go. Just so we don't catch you saying anything. Yep, thank you.
Oh, I'd be way worried about what we do.
Are you flying out to the game?
We were so close. We were.
We have lots of chairs.
I've been sitting all day.
Oh, there you go.
Mike, can you hear us okay? Mike Vancheri, can you hear us okay?
Oh, we got Mike.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great,
I can, yes, thank you.
okay.
Probably drink 2 of those today. Oh,
Oh, they gave me the wrong name.
they just didn't match up with the flags. Mine's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just waiting for Jake.
Yeah, that would be my luck. Like, oh, just give it to me. I've had everything anyway. And then it has to be intubated and ICU'd for months. Congratulations.
Hey Reese, we're gonna make your pay tonight. Reese, when I call on you, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Go back to your scout days.
I'll look it up.
I guess I don't need that.
I will fill in the rest.
It's called public service, it's all good. I do it without a pause if I want. Yeah, I'm getting texts about the large star that's supposed to be in the hemisphere, you know, to see tonight, so that's good.
We may want to stop in a minute.
Thank you.
Randy's already let us know that that's.
It's gonna be in the southwest. I'm thinking we need to go out that door because of the light pollution.
Stand right here and do it.
Southwest, I meant, not southeast.
See, it's starting.
Oh, you could? Okay.
Just
I
basically
haven't
ask
looked
the
up.
audience to arise and then follow you and we'll be good.
Every 400 years. But they didn't see it 400. Yes. 400 years as the sun was in the way.
I didn't remember it, so.
Thank Genghis Khan.
Okay, we'd like to welcome you out to our city council meeting this evening. I'm glad that we've got something good happening tonight. Otherwise, we would probably not have very many people here. So I assume there's some relationship here, and we'll find out real soon. I'm Mayor Acerson. I'll be conducting this meeting. I've invited Councilmember Randy Powell to offer an invocation, after which Reese DeMille from Republic Services will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Randy? Just make your way up, Jake. It's okay.
Our dear Heavenly Father, we're grateful to gather together as community here in this fine city of Lindon. Father, we're grateful for the citizens that we have here and the staff that we have. We're grateful for this opportunity we have to gather together to discuss the items that are on this night's agenda. We ask for protective blessing upon our citizens and our law enforcement agency members. We're grateful for all that they do for us. We are grateful for this time of year to be able to, of thy son's birth. We're grateful for the opportunity to be able to pray in our community and for the goodness of the souls that who serve here. And we ask for a blessing upon us all. In the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It is a little challenging with the mask, but thank you, Reese, for that, and Randy. As mayor of our city, I'd like to just make a quick, brief announcement. If not everyone heard, there was a news report today that the official site for the temple that will be built here in Lindon was announced today, and it's just up our Center Street, going east, about 800 east. We're excited to work with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to help facilitate that, and we feel it an honor and a privilege, and understand that the residents here in Lindon and adjoining communities will be impacted by that. Both perceived sometimes in increased traffic, and we will do all we can to help mitigate that and be mindful of the residents' concerns, and we'll take all the actions we can to make sure that the site is appropriately done, and yet in the same mindset that we're welcoming of their presence here in our community, and we feel it's an honor and a privilege. So thank you for letting me editorialize just a little bit as mayor. So we're excited about that. So let's go ahead and do a roll call. And Mike, you want to start us off online?
Sure. Mike Venturing, present.
Jake Hoyt, present.
Randy Powell, present.
Jeff Acerson, present.
Van Broderick, present.
Carolyn Lundberg, present.
Thank you. Let's go ahead and review the minutes of the December 7th, 2020, and looks like we also have February 6th, 2020, the special city council meeting that took place then. We need to review those as well. So any corrections or additions to either of those? If you'd mention those now, we can have Kathy make those notations.
I looked through the mayor and I didn't see anything that stood out there yet, so there's no.
I think
I do have a question, and this is on, what page? It's 17 and 18, when we're talking about the approval of the slide and the amount we approved, and it says here with a maximum of $150,000 coming from the park tax. Am I remembering that right? I kind of thought that there was gonna be the 250 and the 150, but I thought it was.
I think there was some concerns about the park tax being able to fund perhaps the arena, perhaps a couple of other items. So I think it was my proposal that we cap it at 150 from the park tax in order to, because the RDA money could be used only there, but the park tax money could be used on the other amenities in the other parts of the city.
And I remember that because that was my big concern, and when Jake proposed that, then it brought me back on board that I could agree with that.
All right, just want to make sure I understood that correctly.
We good with that, Kathy? You got, okay. Any other comments? Okay, a motion would be in order then.
I'll make a motion.
That motion.
There's an echo in the room. No. Go ahead, Mike. Why don't you make the motion, and I think Randy would be more than willing to
Sure.
second it.
Thank
Okay,
you,
go ahead,
Mayor.
Mike.
I'll make the, I don't see the date in front of me, I can't move.
December 7th, 2020, and then February 6th, 2020.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve the minutes, of, well, that doesn't make sense, December 7th, 2020, and the minutes of the special city council meeting of February 6th, 2020.
I will, we had no corrections, right? We just.
That's correct.
Okay.
Just,
With those corrections, correct?
And I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That's unanimous. Thank you. Mike, do you want to start us with your council report? Is that all right?
Yeah, I wish I had a lot of wonderful things to regale you with, but there's just not a whole lot. Things are running smooth at the transfer station. We've been getting some good emails with, Heath mentioned that we're going to be a little bit of a delay on the slide, and as long as we can lock that price in, not ideal, but I'm okay with that. I've met with, talked to Mike a couple times in this last week, and Mike at Florence. Just got some perspectives and discussed some things, and Adam was good to visit with me about some things, but I don't really have anything major to report. So I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Let's go to Jake.
Yeah, so just a couple of quick things. Parks and Rec asked if there's anything he needed to update the council with. They have had a mailbox out in front of the Parks and Rec department. I've got the stats from that I just wanted to share. I think it's great. I love what they do. So you could come and drop off your letter to Santa, and the Parks and Rec department responded to all of those, with the exception of 6 that didn't put an address or a last name. And so there was 327.
One of those was mine.
It was
didn't
yours.
realize.
Okay. Well, I hope you weren't too disappointed to not get your letter back. But 327 letters that were written, and they mailed
Santa
them.
responded to
And
these?
Santa responded to every single one of those, which I think is so cool that they do. Just another item, met with Juan over at Public Works, and just something to keep on your guys' minds with the cemetery. I know we discussed fees in a meeting in October. I wasn't able to be at that meeting, but Juan will be coming back to us with a few things in a meeting in January. One discussion we had is our cemetery is currently 65% full and increasing at a rate of about 5% per year. And just a high-level discussion that we had. And I say 5% a year, that's between buying plots that are being purchased and not necessarily plots that are being filled. When is the point that we decide to move forward on phase 2? It's actually currently, there's a phase 2 and a phase 3. I asked Juan his expertise, what he saw, and he's thinking maybe 2-3 years. That's something we really need to start taking a serious look at. So just wanted to bring that to your attention, that we're at 65% there and increasing at about 5% a year. We obviously would never want to get to the point where we're turning people away. So that's all I have.
Do you know, will he come back with cost estimates to do the next phases? And maybe we start budgeting to make sure we have those funds.
You know what?
available?
I'll ask him to do that. In January, he's going to come. Adam, if you'll just maybe mention that to him. January, he's going to come with the kind of a report from the cemetery and that rate proposal. So that'd be good. He does have, I know he's got maybe a couple of building ideas, a couple of amenities over there that he wants to look at. So that'd be good to have a few costs. But we do have the land already acquired, which is always the big part. And forward thinking by previous councils. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Randy?
Thank you, Mayor. It's kind of been a quiet week. I did get Adam and I got a notice this morning that our Public Works were on the job taking care of, I'll quote it, it was a complicated water leak. And it was an early morning situation, and just grateful that our Public Works Department are on the spot. They do a quick, thorough job. Just really impressed with Juan and his team down at Public Works, and just grateful for all that they do for us. And So they took care of that in short order. I will say, I don't know, it's a little bit of a personal point of privilege perhaps, but kind of just going with our new chief being put in place tonight, and that is that I had an occurrence to have a discussion with Captain Britt Smith over in Pleasant Grove. We have 2 children in 1 week who are business owners. One has a business in American Fork, the other one in Pleasant Grove. Both of them were either both burglarized. One was pretty massive, had his business completely hosed with a fire extinguisher and whatnot. But got to talk with Captain Britt Smith about things regarding crime rate. But in that conversation, I had just found out that Captain Brewer was going to be
Chief Brower.
Brower. I want to make sure I was saying it correctly. Sorry.
He'll answer to whatever, but,
yes.
you know, it's better to get it right.
The chief
yeah.
Was going to come and was going to be with us, and he was thrilled. He said he couldn't think of anyone else, and if he wasn't going to get the job, he was glad that we make the choice that we made. So kudos coming from Pleasant Grove, from Captain Britt Smith. Grateful for him and all that they're doing for our community. And the reason I bring this up is that this is the time of year, I'm hearing this from everybody, and the fact that crime rate is up, burglaries are up. My son was hit, the Calm Spa and Salon was hit twice within 5 weeks. And so appreciate all that goes into place to keeping us safe, and as well as just what you do for us. So thank you on that, and that's all I have there.
All right. Thank you, Randy. Van?
2 quick things. One, we had some communication on the street light that was out. In reviewing the notes, Adam, I think we had directed Noah to come back with a future plan, kind of in how to replace lights, and just want to make sure that that's still in the works. And maybe at some point, if we haven't already, publish again on the city site the process for people that want a new street light, or if they're having troubles, some type of method so that they're aware of that process. I'm going to now join Randy in, as I've been driving around different communities and looking at the Christmas lights, I've seen what Mapleton does in their park, and it's just a delight. And I would put the challenge as the council and citizens is that we figure out a plan on what we want to do to maybe be geared up for next year. And maybe just down here at the city park, get a few of the trees there and a couple of displays that I don't think would be too expensive. Maybe we can work with businesses and sponsors, but I would just make that call that we all start working towards that end.
Thank you very much for that endorsement.
And that's it.
Yes, and I third
Yeah.
that
know.
we need to work towards more of an identity here in Lindon, and I think that helps build some good community relations. Just a couple things here. We had the retirement party for Kathy Bird and Carolyn Shepard. It was nice to go in and chat with them. They're both planning hopefully a little travel and good health, hopefully. And long years of service. I think, was it Carolyn 19 years, Kathy? Close 17, so long time employees. They've been found some good replacements, hopefully. Just wanted to thank them again for their service. I attended the Pleasant Grove Lindon Chamber meeting, and we elected 3 new board members. There's just been a little bit of turnover for the year. Hoping to plan some more community business opportunities in the next year. It's a little obviously tentative at this point, but things are going well there. Still trying to provide a good value there and keep growing the chamber. Different ideas were discussed. I also attended the Horse Arena Improvement Committee meeting. Great group of people there from Lindon folks that are really passionate to keep our equestrian heritage alive here in the community, and just identifying what sorts of improvements would be needed, identifying a reasonable types of improvements, how those costs, getting estimated costs. Heath's working on that now. And then at some point, we'd like to come to the council with, some sort of a business model and just how all that might work with some grants and some other things that might be able to be pulled together. The PG, if you've noticed on Locust, they're clearing some ground. Do y'all know what that is? Pickleball courts. It's going to be a big pickleball complex.
There you go. Someone asked me about that the other day.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So I think at least 6 courts, 8 courts. You would know, it's in your neighborhood. So you'll be hearing the clacking over there. Yeah, so at the PG Lindon Chamber meeting, I was asking one of their council members, and he said they approved a big bathroom and all kinds of great facilities there. So more pickleball aficionados can enjoy that as well as the ones we have. And then just a reminder, we have the IBI 700 North document that Mike is finalizing. If any of you really want to look through that, give your feedback as early as you can so that we can not throw any curveballs in the next public meeting if there's anything else that we want to give us suggestions or tweaks on that, as he's working hard on that. And that's all I have for now. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Carolyn. Adam?
Just a few quick updates. As an FYI, our next council meeting will be January 4th. And then traditionally, we've had our audit report the last meeting of the year, and they are still finalizing a couple of things, the auditors, and so they will have that done by December 31st, but we won't be presenting that to you until our January 4th meeting, so. And then just an FYI, there was a house fire on the 15th of December in Lindon that caused a displacement of a family, and Chief Sanderson just sent me a text and said that that family was being taken care of as far as he was aware, but just an FYI. That was at about 170 West, 725 North. On the January newsletter assignment, Jake, we still have you down for that?
Ben told me he'd take it this month.
Yeah.
That's a motion. Is there a second on? No.
No.
And then just wanted to give a kudos to our engineering and parks department. They worked with consultant Ron Clegg, who's a Lindon resident, and kind of the last couple of days before a grant was due, they obtained a $75,000 grant for safe routes to school sidewalk improvements on 400 East. We have two of our schools identify 400 East as routes to their schools from certain areas of Lindon. And so this will help fill in the gaps in a few locations closer to 400 North and 400 East. So appreciate their efforts.
Any matching funds required with that, or?
There is a small amount from what I recall. Do you remember, Mike, what that might be? It was very manageable, so. That's all I have right now.
If I
Okay.
could just add really quickly.
Did you coordinate with Carolyn about, we had that conversation about an individual that was
Related to
instrumental
the fire.
on the fire?
Okay,
No,
sorry, Mary. I
we'll-
thought you
we'll
were going to
connect
chat with
you.
Adam.
Well,
We'll
I-
do it after the meeting.
Okay.
I thought I mentioned it, but maybe it was one of those senior moments or something.
Sorry, I thought you were going to call him, but
No,
that's
I was,
okay.
I was gonna
Good.
call him. No, I committed to doing that, but anyway, we can
Yeah.
follow up. We just wanted to make some recognition of a young man that was instrumental
Oh.
in helping make sure the fire didn't go beyond what it did, so.
Get the family out safely.
Okay. Yeah, let me know.
If I could just add one thing, the council may, so with our chamber, business chamber, the new board members are Brittany Peterson with Taylor Drug and Melissa Van Dam with Mountain America Credit Union and Wade and Brenda Hyatt with Mountain Point Medical. And then the new chair for this next year is going to be Dale Keep with Big D Construction.
Oh, good.
So some,
Carolyn, could
Good
you email those to me? or
I will
text
send
those
them
to me?
out, sure.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and move on. We've got what everyone standing has been waiting for. Thank you. Adam, are you going to present this?
Yeah, I just want to thank and recognize Mike Brower. Has been selected as our new chief of police and started today, hit the ground running, and we're grateful that he's here. Mike comes to us after about 22 years with the Utah County Sheriff's Department, and since 2008 has been a lieutenant, and then moved up to deputy chief at the sheriff's office, and retired from there a little over a year ago, and has been back on patrol helping out part-time at BYU Police Department, but we're excited to have him here and thankful that his family could come and be part of this. So we wanted to have our city recorder, Kathy Mosman, will swear him in.
Yeah, we want to make
So-
you official. If you've been on the job, we need to make you official, so it's all good.
Yeah, so why don't we have Mike here and then Kathy over on that side, and we'll. your district-
Camera's ready, okay.
Picture here, Kathy, of it.
Okay, you ready? I'm ready. Okay, could you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name,
I, Mike Brower,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties
and will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Hey, you're official.
All right.
So I am new to this, so we would like to provide an opportunity for his wife to pin a badge on his
Yeah, it's gonna be kinda hard on his
suit
suit,
lapel there.
so we'll probably just present it to him.
Okay, present
Yeah,
that and then.
just don't draw blood, okay?
Or do, we have enough personnel in the building to handle it.
And then, Mike, if you want to introduce your family to everybody really quick, that'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep, this is my wife Jen. She tolerates me. It's been a great support system. My oldest son right here, Boston, is 20. My daughter Aubrey, 18. Stand up, Obs.
Please?
My son Tyson right there in the green jacket, he's 14. My brother, younger brother Brad's right here in the front. My sister Brooke, her husband Brad, Kiva and Keegan. My nephew Logan with the Springville uniform on, his wife Ellie, and a lot of good family, extended family, Jeff and Sherry and Zach and Leisha and Chief Adams, and just honored to support and to be working with such good men and women of the Lindon Police Department. Looking forward to working with you guys.
Thank you. I think there's one more step here.
There is
that-
one more step.
Yeah.
These are from the department. We're getting him. We're gonna keep him for a 40 a week, but we're also getting you, so thank you. Your sacrifice doesn't go unnoted.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Now, you don't have to stay. I mean, really. You got my permission to rejoice and all that kind of stuff, so. Thank you for being here to support us in this action. And thank you for sharing him with us. Thank you. Oh, yeah, Chief Adams, you were masked. It was hard to see. Oh. You were masked, so I just.
He's a little skinny, but it'll.
Yeah, well, you can work with him, kind of.
Just feed him.
So it's now the moment. Can we take a pause for just a second? If anyone wants to go out and see the stars align or something? Council?
Can you see it already? It's still kind of light out there.
I think about
And just go take
All
a
right,
quick
we'll
look.
take
about 6 PM is the.
You want to do a 5-minute recess then?
Yeah, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
Okay, so we're just gonna leave everything running, so. What's that? Keys to get back in? Yeah, I'm still live.
Yeah, I turned mine off, but anyway. I'm sorry, I thought I had, maybe I didn't follow there was someone we wanted to recognize, a young man that actually,
I thought everybody was here to talk about garbage.
you got people out, you know, so. That's good.
Hey, Adam, what's the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah.
What's the Wi-Fi password in here?
That is a great question. Let me, let's see if I can find that.
Oh, I just don't want you to ask me a question I can't answer, and I need to look it up. So is the temple going one block east of you?
Yeah,
Just down the hill?
it's just right there.
Essentially across the street and over that house? Is there a house?
Well, I've got a vacant lot right there that I have a little wooden boat on. So that.
And then the field?
And then the field, yeah. There's a
Yep.
trail that dissects between my property and the temple property.
Was that one of the three that you had
It was.
suspected?
Yep.
Wow. What a blessing that'll be, President
Pretty
Acerson.
exciting, isn't it?
President Acerson. You could just live, you could just live right there.
Oh, no.
That's what they said on the news.
Hi, Jake.
How you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good.
So we see anything?
Yeah, it's there. I mean, my goodness. How
Right out
cool.
there, right,
Yep, right there. Kind of cool.
800 years, is that what they say?
Yeah.
800 years and not
I'll probably still be in this
400 years
job
and
and
a
the
day.
next one happens.
Mayor would probably be the only one alive at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow indeed. There must be some magic pill that keeps you
Wow.
going.
There you go.
My husband told the kids they better get out and see it, they might not be alive in the next week.
Well, he's prophetic in that statement. I'm sure there won't be. Because it doesn't happen that often. I didn't realize Saratoga Springs jewelry
Had left.
So you need a ride
So apparently the story is her husband's father was from Sun Valley. They were both from Sun Valley originally, owned a business, and I don't know if he had some issues or what, but they decided to move up there and take over his dad's business. So tough decision, but they decided to go. And it's not a jewelry business. I mean, it's like a property management or something like that. So kind of interesting. Tough decisions. Can't imagine that COVID's been nice to a retail like that. Probably a little bit difficult.
It's at the end of my point.
You want a cookie?
Hey, you doing good, man?
Yeah, real good.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, you're so welcome. My mom called last night and told me about a family from my hometown that's COVID cooking. So, yeah, he would have been late 70s, early 80s. The three brothers that lived right around where I grew up. And, yeah, he's the youngest of the three brothers.
My husband just turned 65. Is there any way I can pretend to be you and take yours? And he's like, sure.
Well, I hope it happens, the rollout happens quicker and quicker so that people aren't having to make those choices. Because that just causes
Yeah.
problems.
My friend, I talked to her today, she was the director of nursing at AF Hospital for years, and now she's up at Murray. She's not nursing, she does something else. She thinks, are things over? That's what we call it. It's gonna start rolling out faster than.
Well, part of the challenge is the numbers that they're trying to do sequentially on who's the most vulnerable and all that kind of stuff. What we're gonna find is not everyone's going to.
Not a 20% increase.
So doses that are available will trickle down.
I think we're getting more out of the vials than they were anticipating.
Yeah.
Like first they
Yeah,
I did, very cool.
you can use the binoculars out there. Well, we passed them, yeah.
Couple of vortexes, those are impressive.
Yeah.
I will go use those.
And anyway, just tough things happen when somebody says, you're essential, you're not. That's just.
Until it changes somehow where we.
That Senate.
Glad you wrote that down for me. Yep. Thank you.
My wife told me who to vote for.
Yeah, very unimpressive as far as the spectacular waiting 4 years, 400 years, 800 years.
800 years, right?
I guess 400 years it was behind the sun.
Should we go ahead and start, Adam?
You've got a quorum, so.
We've got a quorum, so. Okay. That was, okay. Brian's coming in. Let's go ahead and open it up for open session. If there's anyone here to address the council on an item that's not on the agenda, now would be the time to do that. If anyone has something they want to address the council for. Okay, I don't see anything online.
Since we're here in person, we're not
We're not
monitoring
obligated. Okay, we're good.
for comments online, but.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next item, which is, we don't have any consent agenda items, so let's go ahead and move on to item 8, which is review and action on the resolution 2020-30-R, which is the solid waste services contract extension. Reese is here, and Adam, you.
Yeah, so this is hopefully a pretty quick item. We are under contract with Republic Services for residential solid waste removal. So garbage cans and recycling cans, and that contract runs out the end of June of 2021, but it has in there that we'll negotiate an extension potentially 6 months in advance. And so Reese reached out to us. We've crafted this agreement and are recommending approval of this. There's an attached resolution and then an extension. This will extend our current contract with Republic Services out to another 5 years. There is no proposed rate increase in the 2021-22 fiscal year, so this next fiscal year, but thereafter there is a schedule that we look at a federal index for garbage removal rates, and that would be anticipated that we'll have some smaller percentages of increases. It is capped at no more than a 4% increase, so that would be the most on garbage and recycling that we would see. But it could also go lower depending on market conditions in those indexes. So keep in mind, just to call it to your attention, in the agreement is listed the charges that Republic charges the city. And then on top of that, the city pays for the tipping fees, and then there's a small administrative rate. And so the actual fees that residents are seeing are listed here in your staff report. It's $10.61 for the first can, $9.02 for the second can, and then recycling is $3.82. We've traditionally increased the second can fee and reduced the recycling fee as a way to help incentivize participation in the recycling program. I would anticipate that would continue. So diverts some of that waste away from our landfill, and then there's the altruistic aspects of that as well. So, any comments, Reese? Anything on that?
No, just one thing on what he said about the rates could go down. If the market gets better in recycling, we turn that back to you guys in a decrease in price.
So what do you see the trends, or what's the outlook on recycling?
Well, over the last, no crystal ball, Mayor, we don't know.
I'm not gonna hold you to it, but what do you,
I don't know. I think some of the markets seem to be getting a little bit better. You know, China, we're giving about 20% of what we used to, as a country, to China that we used to send there. But, you know, they always need cardboard because they're always making TVs and things like that. But we're starting to see a little bit of the plastic market come back. Certainly not to what it was. the rates, the disposal rates for that have gone, kind of like this over the last 6 months, up or down $10, $10 here or there, or up or down. So, you know, the material is being sold. It's just being, you know, 1s, 2s, 3s, 5s. You know, the material is being sold. It's just being sold for a lot less value than it was.
Yeah. I know at one time, was it true that they weren't accepting anything, or did the door kind of close on that, or?
Well, cardboard they took, and, you know, they'll always take aluminum. There's values for those, but plastics and mixed paper, they did shut the door on, and they still have. So we've had to find alternative markets for those.
Okay.
So Southeast Asia, you know, other countries, we've had to find markets for those.
Okay.
But again, we take it to a third-party recycler. So when I say we, I'm talking about the industry.
Yeah.
Now, if we were in Las Vegas, it is us, because that's where our materials recovery facility is for Republic. But here we take it to a third-party processor.
Any comments or questions for Reese about our contract with Republic Services?
You checked on my boxes, on my questions.
Good,
So,
okay.
Thank you.
Well, I speak for myself, but I hope for the council as well and the city, we appreciate what you do for us, the service you provide. I love the fact that, you know, we were able to offer in the spring and in the fall a service where people can come and clean up things and put them in the big bins. And I know we pay for that, but it's still an extended service that you provide for us, and we appreciate that. I think it helps us as citizens to, you know, just take a little extra step in what we think about our city and how we take care of it. So, and we're close to the station here, so that's a bonus for us, Lindon residents. Anything else? Okay, and action is appropriate. If someone feels they want to.
I'll make a motion. I move to approve Resolution 2020-30-R, approving solid waste services contract extension as presented.
Second?
I'll second that.
Thanks. We have a motion by Van, a second by Jake. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is Mike still there?
I don't see
I don't see him.
Motion carries, or thank you.
Before Reese leaves, if I can just give he and Republic Services kudos. Often people think the garbage haulers work for Lindon City. They do, in a way. But it's probably a couple times a year that I will get a glowing email or some phone call telling us how great their garbage man did and went an extra mile and picked up their can from up by their house when they forgot to put it at the street or something of that nature. And Reese takes really good care of us. And so it's part of our desire to stay with Republic Services. They do a great job. So.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I've had some neighbors as well, just within the past month. The garbage man got out of the truck, got someone's can when they forgot it. Also picked up just a bag that slipped and hit the street as it was being taken, and went the extra mile just to pick up a little piece of something that came out of the can. And so we appreciate your guys and the quality of them caring about their job. I do have one comment or question for the council and mayor, and that is, in the past, we structured that recycling cans would be less than a second black can as an incentive for people to recycle versus using the black can, which just goes to the dump. With the increase on recycling, it might be good to review how we pass those fees on to the residents if recycling starts to not look as favorable. Because some people say, well, yes, on the front end it looks cheaper, but then again, it only picks up every other week. So I don't know, I think we should look at that and still have an incentive for recycling.
Okay, sounds great.
I do have a question, since
Sure.
Carolyn brought that up. So Reese, been a while since I've been here, but nice to be back and see you. But the, once a load of recycle gets, quote, tainted with somebody just uses it for trash, what happens to that particular load? Is that completely
Well,
ends up,
if it's identified when we're dumping it as, you know, the majority of it's gonna be contaminated in some sort, somebody put a 5-gallon can of paint in there or something like that, and they can actually visualize it, they may tell us to, or they may take it, because recycling and trash is dumped at the same center, but it's two different sides, ends of the building. They may move that over to the MSW side, and that whole load is contaminated.
okay,
Our drivers don't determine that. I guess they would if there was you know, I would hope our driver, if he saw something in there that was, as he's dumping it, said, oh no, that he would call in and ask that question. But typically that's done at the third-party drop-off location, and then they would push that over. Other than that, at the location itself, before it is put on the truck to take to the recyclery, they'll pull out anything that doesn't, you know.
So there is some filtering that takes place there to.
Yeah.
But it
it's
doesn't-
minimal before it gets to the conveyor belt system, but they try to do that, so that they don't have to contaminate the whole load.
Yeah.
that's what I was concerned about. It doesn't contaminate the whole load unless something spreads throughout, like you're saying,
Yeah, it would have to be,
paint or something.
it would have to be pretty obvious for them to be able to do that.
Thank you.
One last comment, since everyone's gotten to comment. I've got young kids, and they go out every Friday to see the dump truck come. And he just moved to a different city, maybe a different route. I don't know if he left the company or not, but he knew my kids all by name and brought them Christmas presents, which is incredible for the garbage man. It was above and beyond on customer service in an industry that doesn't necessarily require customer service to keep their customers around. I think it's awesome. So please pass that on. We love our guys. So
Thank you.
I've got an awesome one.
They
as well.
really try hard, and these are, one thing I appreciate about our drivers, first of all, it's not easy to be a driver for Republic. We're very demanding, we have a very stringent drug and alcohol policy, so we weed out a lot of people that could go to work somewhere else, they can't work for us. That hurts us sometimes too, not in the long run, but in the short run, where we may have open positions for longer than we want, because we're just not gonna take anybody. But one thing I appreciate, we have a lot of family guys, and they're down to earth, really just good guys and women. We don't have too many women drivers, but we have some, and they just really try hard. So, thank you for that, I'll pass that on.
I should have grew up during this time frame. I hauled trash as a young kid growing up, and it was a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, I've thrown trash too, so it's a lot different.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Reese.
Okay, item number 9 is review and action on the major subdivision, Green Valley, approximately 600 North Main Street. Mike, you gonna take us through that?
I am, thank you, Mayor,
Thank you.
council members. So Mr. College is proposing a 4-lot subdivision with a couple of his neighbors on here just south of 600 North. And the lot sizes range between 20,000 square feet and 34,000 square feet. I'll go to the plat, or the site plan here. Let's see. So you can, so this project was originally approved in 2013. This is Main Street here that's going horizontal. So it was originally approved in 2013. The final engineering was stamped in 2015, and then from there wasn't any progress, and so the plat and the approval of the project expired according to our ordinance. So that's why Dr. College is here this evening with us. So we went through the subdivision requirements. Those are compliant. We've got a plat before you here this evening as well that shows the 4-lot subdivisions. Now there is, you can see down here at the south end of Main Street, there is a temporary turnaround Then one other item I wanted to have you to note on this. So the full width of Main Street will be installed up to this point on Lot 2. Then the asphalt narrows down to 32 feet. That's how it was approved in 2015. And that still may be the case. We're reviewing that according to our city ordinances. There may be a requirement to put in the full width, but we are studying that as well right now. So with that, we're recommending approval with the following conditions. Numbers 1 through 7 is outlined in your staff report. So I'd be glad to answer any questions as well as Mr. College.
Council, any questions?
Could you please clarify the widths of street that are under consideration?
Yes, so the width for, so right now, the proposal is for 32 feet. So it's, the cross-section for this is a 44-foot asphalt width with a 10-foot sidewalk. And so what's being proposed right now is a 32-foot width of asphalt.
On the interior, what about leading into it?
Leading into it, you'd have the full 44-foot width.
Okay.
Is that a 10-foot sidewalk, or is it 6 foot with curb gutter and sidewalk? I mean, curb and gutter.
You have
making
curb and
it a
gutter,
10.
then a 10-foot trail.
Oh, a 10-foot trail.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I said sidewalk, but it'll be the same cross-section that's on Center Street.
Okay.
That's what
Thank
State
you.
Street has called out for it. Or sorry, State Street, Main Street has called out for it.
10-foot trail or 6-foot trail?
10-foot. This says 6 foot. That's one other thing
Yeah.
that needs to be changed on the
Okay, that's what
plans.
the red note is.
Yep.
Other questions?
Still processing.
Yeah, I think Mike's gone, so, okay, I just don't want him to feel excluded, but Carolyn, do you have any other questions, or I'm sure Dr. College would like to address us. Go ahead.
Sure. When this was originally proposed, they were going to narrow the road down just to accommodate the last two building lots, but we're in a position when we have the equipment and the curb and gutter to extend Main all the way to that turnaround. So it won't narrow down. I think we're planning on putting it through all the way. It's a 66-foot overall accommodation we're giving to the city.
So even in that cross-section that he shows is more narrow, you're planning to improve?
Extending it,
Fully-
make it
fully.
contiguous out to the
Okay.
turnaround.
Okay.
Jake, any comments or questions?
Not necessarily. You know, we love to see these size of lots come through, and even some a little bit bigger, which I think are great for that area of town, a really nice area, close to the park, close to your property. Looks like there's several, am I understanding that there's several landowners involved on lot 1 and lot 2?
Lot 1 to 3 and 4. So there's 4 different. Is that right? Or is there 3 different?
4 different owners.
4 different owners.
Mhm.
So they've all signed.
Excuse me, 3 different owners, 4 different lots.
Yeah.
Tucker Wood owns the first 2 there, joining by the Stake Center, and then Derek Stevenson owns, and I can't see up there good enough.
Lot 1. I think.
Lot 1, and then we have one more lot there.
So
We need
all,
a bigger screen.
The glasses.
so all 3 property
Bigger screen
owners.
or younger eyes? One
That's
or the
right.
other.
I can only take care of one of those.
All 3 property owners have signed the subdivision, or signed the application. They'll all sign the subdivision plat.
So Alan, for clarification, you said you're going to extend those improvements down to the cul-de-sac bowl?
Yes.
Contiguous,
So
you
maybe
said.
highlight that section right there with your mouse. I want to make sure we're all, so that white spot right there, you're going to put improvements
Yes.
Okay, that's great. So just wanted to make sure we're all on the same page.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, what was the lag in the time? I'm sure it was just, you got sidetracked, but just curious what, from the original approvals from 13, 15?
In order to finish out our part, Mr. Woods needed to be helping, and
Okay,
and it wasn't a good time for him at that time, but now it's okay.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Alan.
Sounds like we're ready to move this forward if there aren't other questions. And Dr. College, you're good?
Yeah,
That's
very
good.
good. Yes, yes.
It'd be in order.
All right, I move to approve the Green Valley Major Subdivision request as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Carolyn and a second by Randy. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I think that was unanimous. Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you. Again, we wish to express appreciation for all of you in helping us. As you know, we're not Ivory Homes, and the Wadley Farms is just our family, and you were very supportive. I remember, Mayor, when you said this preservation of our history and our agricultural roots, and maintaining that legacy of a little bit of country should not be a citizens initiative, but a city initiative, and you've been very supportive, and the staff's been just excellent to work with. The building, Phil Brown and Gary are just been, and Mike, and they're just unbelievable. And I don't know that we could have done what we've done without that kind of support and accommodation for an amateur.
Well, your family legacy will live on, and it is a very valuable part of our community and a jewel to many who come to frequent your place. I personally have been there, and it's just, you're entering almost into a different world. You've done such a nice job.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks,
And
we appreciate
speaking of that, I don't know if you're aware, this past Friday, the Timpanogos Symphony streamed an event doing a Nutcracker suite. The Utah Ballet comes and does galas there. This is a magnet for all kinds of things. And then the week prior, David Archuleta did a worldwide concert there that had over 100,000 people viewing worldwide at Wadley Farms. So right here in our little Lindon.
Keep it up.
Well, I appreciate your support.
Now, I do need to follow up with you. I received a bottle of something that you made there, and I just don't know if it's still good. So I probably need to talk to you about whether that's...
You might have to talk to the bishop after you.
That's what I thought.
We are trying to develop that line of product of our grape juice, and this year you'll get our carbonated when it's a canned. So we're as we plod along and try and get on with it, but we appreciate you working with us.
Well, it sits on my counter, so maybe I'll come and just make sure we're okay. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Okay. The next item is item number 10, closed session, so go ahead.
I'll make a motion to close the regular city council session for the purpose of discussing a sale or purchase of real estate property. Is that correct?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's unanimous. We are now...
So just for purposes, before we go into this closed session, I am, just for its recording live on YouTube, we are going to end that YouTube stream, even though we've got one more agenda item after this. I'm not technologically savvy enough to restart us, so I'm just ending it. So if you have any questions.
Adam, when people are
Want this?
watching it on the